here we have the blocks all cut. Okay, every block is 22.5 inches except for the ones at the end. I always install my blocking after the joists are in place because it gives me the ability to shave a block down a little bit if I need to. If they start getting too tight or if they start pushing the joists off of layout, you need to shave the blocks down to fit. Part of that I think is because I'm used to using rough sawn lumber where the boards might vary 1/8 of an inch in thickness. So you generally actually have to cut your blocking a little bit different. Store-bought lumber you can probably get away with cutting them all the exact same. So I like to do decks with one row of blocking right down the middle of the beam, okay? That was actually a little loose. Perfect. Okay. The reason I like to block right down the center of the beam is that you can toenail. This one's a little tight. Let's see what happens. That one's a little tight. I'll go ahead and put it in there. We'll see if the next one makes it better or worse. So I put my blocking right down the middle of the beam. Now, this seems a little tight. Let's try to get in there. You know what? Let me get my big hammer real quick. Well, that block seemed a little tight, but I'm going to try to leave it in there because I can tell that this board is really twisted. So one of the things the blocks do is they take the twist out of the board. So when you tap these blocks in, you can see that. So here, this board is twisted over like this, okay? And you tap this block in. See it going over against the other one? I think my blocks are a little tight. We'll just try to get them in there. You do want them tight. This is a little tight. So blocking is an incredibly important part of building. It stiffens the whole floor up, straightens the joists out, So in this case, all the blocking does is it really straightens the joist out really nicely, and then we'll be able to fasten the blocking down to that beam all the way along. That'll hold the whole deck down really well. If you have a long span of floor joists, you really want to put a row of blocking every 4 feet right under the plywood. It'll make for a really stiff floor. When you add those blocks in, it's almost like adding a joist going in the other direction if they're in there really tightly. Okay, that'll really stiffen your floor up. So I am almost pushed off my line 3/8 of an inch now. So I really need to shave one of these blocks down. I'm going to try. Yeah, So this is why I always put my blocking in later. So as I'm going, the blocks are just a hair too tight. So when I get to here, I'm starting to get pushed off my line a little bit. We're going to trim this block down about 1/8 of an inch, and that'll help keep us on that layout. You don't want to be pushing everything out in the middle, like out in the middle of joists. You want to use a string or a laser or your eye and make sure the joists are straight and you're not pushing them over. So this should go right in perfect. Look at that. Still snug, but didn't move the next joist over. Very nice. Okay. Perfect. We're going a little tighter, but until it needs it. Yep. Oh, it's hair tight. That's okay. Better than hair loose. Beautiful. So there's all our blocks in place. I'll zoom you in and show you our fastening method here. That was a pretty typical blocking method. You know, we had the blocking job, we had to trim a little bit. Pretty normal. So the fastening method for these blocks is pretty cool. First one just gets fastened just straight in from the end here. Whoops. Nice and straight. Okay. Just do 2 nails for these blocks. This actually still needs to be toenailed down, I noticed. Okay, and from here, I'll do this one so it's a little easier. So I can't nail straight into the end of the block because this one's in the way. You can offset the blocks. I personally don't think it matters. I think it's fine. Some people really think you shouldn't offset them. I don't think it matters, but we don't offset them anymore. We do it like this. Get this nail. So these nails, you start right on the edge of the block and they're angled in to hit the center of this one. It's actually a really nice fastening method. Okay. Same thing here, so I'm going to fasten into that block. Two nails. And I'm going to show you here why we block down the middle of the beam instead of out in the field. And that's so that we can toenail these blocks down into the beam. So the blocks are fastened to the joists at either end, and then the blocks themselves are fastened to this beam. And it gives you a really good redundancy and a lot of strength right here. So instead of just the joist being nailed to this beam, these blocks are nailed to the beam as well, and it just makes for this connection of joist to beam very strong. And it needs to be strong because of uplift. This is an extreme high wind area we're in right now. These cabins will see winds of over 100 miles an hour every single winter of their life. Every year, over 100 miles an hour right into the front of this building. Every single year. So, when I built the other cabins out here, they were stud framed, and I did some stuff to account for that. So we super nailed everything. The roof we super nailed. I think I nailed it at 6 inches everywhere. And then where the lookouts came out to support our overhangs, I fastened them down with those huge timber lock screws. So I did a lot of provisions in those cabins. The A cabin, on the other hand, it's really pretty much good to go. It's so strong naturally, in its natural form, that we didn't really have to do anything. So these little A-frames are good for places with, you know, extreme wind, stuff like that. You could anchor this thing down to a concrete foundation, and it's just not gonna go anywhere. So this is a real sweet job we got going on here. Very straightforward framing. Don't skip the blocking. You know, you could probably get away without it, but it's really makes everything straight, strong. So that nail hit another nail and deflected. And I'm not even going to try to pull it out, it's so hard. Send another one in there. Toenail the blocks down to that beam. Lovely, 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 lovely. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So you can see it's just, oh, that's a real stout deck. Beautiful. Next thing we need to do is install the rims. I'll show you that here. Really nice to put the rims on with screws. I will show you why here. Okay. So, first thing we're going to do is go ahead and crown this rim. I'll sight down the rim. Make sure I got it crowned up, which I don't. This way. And you can measure for this, or you can just hold the rim in place like I'm going to do here. Okay. So for the rim, it's really nice to use screws, and you want to start all your fasteners before you hold the rim up in place. I'll show you that. So we used to always use nails for everything, and what we do is we'd actually pre-drill for the rim and get the nails started in their holes before we held it up there. In this case, we'll just start the screws. 3 screws. Alright. I'm just eyeballing right over the joist like this. You want to get all your fasteners started here. And you really want to install rims with 2 people. You really do. That makes it so easy. Okay? So with 2 people, you put 1 person on either end. That guy's got the drill. He's going to put the first 3 screws into the first joist, and then he's going to tell you to push up or pull down. You'll take the end of the rim and you'll push it up or you'll pull it down till the joists are smooth with the top. The next one he's at, screw it in, and then he'll move to the next one and tell you up and down. And that'll do is it'll even out all the joist ends. I'm by myself, so I don't really see any way to do that right now. So we'll just put this on. It'll be fine. Lined up real nicely on the top. There we go. Beautiful. So, this is kind of extreme, but you can see here, there's kind of this big gap. This is kind of interesting because I am actually going to be able to straighten it out like I needed to. So, for whatever reason, we're perfectly flush on all these 3, and that end is dipped down. Let's fasten these in. Okay. We need to bring this up. I'll try pushing it once. Oh yeah. So you see how I can bend that up? Pretty cool. Huh. Oh, that worked out well. I got just a little bit of a variety on that one, but all the others are good. Nothing we can do about that. So this one sticks up like almost 1/4 of an inch, and all the other ones are perfect. We can't bend anything here. It's all too close to itself. So what we need to do is just hit the top of that joist with a power planer to flatten that out. And that's something you have to do more often than not these days to get the decks level. Lumber is just kind of quality. Lumber quality's kind of gone downhill a little bit. There's our first trim. Let's set the next one in place here. Great. Let's slam this up here. Beautiful. And I'll show you here in just a minute why we did this with screws. Same thing here. I need to push up a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. We got a great job here today. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Hi, Mike and Diane. This video shows the deck frame in place. You can see the ledger fastened to the wall with the ice and water shield behind it. I got a row of blocking right down the center of the beam, and just really looks great. It's a nice size of deck, 6 feet, so you can see it's totally adequate to have chairs and a table out there. It really looks great. So tomorrow morning I'll have this decking underway. It'll take about 3 or 4 hours, so it'll go pretty quick. So I'll have the decking done tomorrow. I should have this door in. And at that point, the only thing left on the exterior of the cabin is the siding. So we'll finish the siding on the front and back, and I can move inside and finish out the interior. It's really looking great. It's amazing how close to finished it is inside. It just looks great in there. So nice clean deck frame. I'm gonna clean up a little bit the site here, and I'll send you a video tomorrow showing that deck planked and hopefully that door in.